This ain't your typical rap beef. This isn't two rappers trading diss tracks, subtweets, and accidental IG live shade. This is Nipsey Hussle versus the entire industry machine, and he played it like a chess match, not a boxing match. From day one, Nipsey wasn't interested in being a puppet in someone else's show. While most artists were out here chasing radio play, hunting for that one single that might convince a label to take a chance, Nipsey said, nah, I'll take my chance on me. No jumping into some 360 deal where the label owns your music, your merch, your tour, and your future. No begging executives for crumbs. No selling the rights to his name for a quick advance. It was straight hustle. Mixtapes dropping like clockwork. Merchandise moving like he was half rapper, half streetwear mogul. And behind it all, the marathon mindset. This wasn't a catchy slogan. This was Nipsey's way of life. Play the long game, invest in yourself, and never trade control for comfort. And while the fans were eating it up, the system was slowly, quietly locking him out. See, this is where the story gets real. Nipsey wasn't failing. He wasn't struggling to get noticed. He was already moving units, packing venues, and building a brand. But outside of LA, you could barely catch him on the radio. Award shows? They'd skip right over him like they misplaced his invite. And the big hip-hop blogs? Oh, they'd have 5 posts a week about some dude who just went viral dancing with a raccoon on TikTok. But they couldn't make space for Nipsey selling out shows in markets most mainstream rappers couldn't even tour. This wasn't shade you could reply to. This wasn't a diss you could respond to on a track. This was the invisible beef. Blackballed, not by headlines, but by omission. Like Nipsey said in one interview, they scared of an artist they can't control. And he was right. The industry didn't just dislike him. They were afraid of what he represented. Because Nipsey was dangerous in the most powerful way. He was independent and he was winning. And he didn't just avoid the middlemen, he embarrassed them. That Crenshaw $100 mixtape move? That wasn't random. That was Nipsey putting a price tag on his work that made people stop and think. He was basically saying, my value is not up for debate, and if you can't afford it, that's fine. You can still download it free. But if you want to own a piece of this movement, here's the cost. When Jay-Z bought 100 copies, it wasn't charity. It was a cosign from a billionaire saying, this is how you build real value. It was proof that you don't need a major label machine if you have a strong brand, a loyal fan base, and a product worth paying for. And the industry hated that idea. Because if every artist started thinking like Nipsey, the machine's leverage disappears overnight. But Nipsey wasn't stopping at music and merch. He was putting money where it mattered. Into the Marathon clothing store, and later into Vector 90, a STEM center and co-working hub right in South Central. This wasn't charity for the cameras. This wasn't a ribbon-cutting photo op so he could post it on Instagram for likes. This was about giving people in his community access to technology, to entrepreneurship, to opportunities the industry would never bring to their doorstep. Meanwhile, the labels kept signing artists who were easier to control. Less talent, more antics. No questions about ownership, no uncomfortable conversations about publishing splits. Just a quick advance and go make some noise so we can cash out. Nipsey wasn't buying into it. He was building an alternate system, not knocking on their gates, but saying, whoa, cool, I'll build my own gates and a bigger house while I'm at it. And he was lacing the game into his music, not obvious disses, not calling out names for clout. But if you listen to songs like Ocean Views or FDT with YG, you could hear it. Lessons on ownership, financial literacy, discipline, and playing the long game. He was giving you the blueprint for independence for free. But here's the thing. Nipsey could give you the whole manual, and you'd still have to run your own race. The marathon was personal. Of course, running that race came with a cost. Isolation. The same people who should have been championing him acted like they didn't see him. That quiet blackballing didn't stop him, but it made the grind steeper. By the time Victory Lap dropped in 2018, there was no more debate. The formula worked. Grammy nominated, critically acclaimed, loved by the fans, and done 100% Nipsey's way. But then, the heartbreak. 2019. Nipsey is shot and killed outside his own marathon store. The very empire he had built from scratch. And suddenly, the same industry that ignored him was all over the tribute wave. But the real fans, they remembered who was there from the beginning and who pretended he didn't exist. Here's the thing about Nipsey's story. It's not just about rap. It's about ownership. It's about patience. It's about refusing to let somebody else set your value. The industry didn't want to deal with Nipsey because they couldn't control him. And in life, you're going to meet your own industry machine. The bosses, the gatekeepers, the people who only want you if you're easy to manage. But Nipsey's whole life was proof that you don't have to play their game to win. You just have to be willing to build your own board. And that's the marathon. Not sprinting for quick wins, not folding the second the doors close on you, but learning to build new doors, new gates, and new opportunities, even if you have to do it brick by brick. So whether you're chasing music, business, or your own personal goals, remember this. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need enough belief in yourself to outlast the people waiting for you to quit. And that's what makes Nipsey Hussle dangerous even in death. His blueprint is still out here making people believe they can run their own race. So was Nipsey the biggest threat the industry ever faced? Or was he just too far ahead of his time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you rock with real stories like this, hit that subscribe button. Fake Famous, we out.